Hello Reyes fans in YouTube, it's Gabriel Reyes and it's time for reviews of television and movies Christmas edition. Alright you guys, so for the first video of my Christmas editions of this month, I'm going to be reviewing the Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire pilot episode. If you guys haven't seen the Simpsons Christmas special, the first episode of the series, spoiler alert. And if you haven't seen it at all, then I guess you're crazy if you haven't seen it. So pretty much the episode starts with Marge and Homer going to Springfield Elementary to watch their kids do their Christmas recitals, you know, singing songs and doing a couple of performances of, you know, Christmas songs and everything. In one of the acts, Lisa does a tribal Christmas dance, and it's really surprising that she's able to juggle fires, which is pretty cool. So that's a really enjoyable thing about Lisa, you know, during that part of the recital. The other part of the recital that Bart is in is that he sings a couple of Christmas songs with his friend, with a couple of the students, and the fact that he sings the Jingle Bells Batman Smell song within like the regular Christmas song that they're singing, and then the funny part is that Principal Skinner ends up pulling him out in his, and just one of the many antics of Bart misbehaving in the very first episode. As the episode goes on, the whole family is starting to set up their Christmas lights, and the kids are starting to write their letters to Santa. And one of the presents that Bart wants to get is that he wants to get a tattoo, and you know, Marge telling Bart that there is no way in hell that he's getting a tattoo. So within the next scene, Marge, Bart, and Lisa go to the mall to start their Christmas shopping. And then throughout the process of them doing their shopping, Bart ends up getting a tattoo he gets a heart that says mother on it. And then when he goes in to get a tattoo and the guy asks how old Bart is, he says 21. And then the guy just ends up giving him a tattoo. And then at Homer's work, Mr. Burns ends up not giving most of the employees their Christmas bonuses, which is just such a sad thing. And it really goes to show you that this was the beginning of Mr. Burns' like evil deeds as a character. And the really bad thing about Bart getting that tattoo was the fact that Marge had to spend all of their like saved up Christmas money for presents and everything on removing the tattoo that Bart got. And man, that is such a selfish thing that Bart did, costing them the Christmas money to get the presents that they wanted. And it really goes to show you. And so when Homer comes home, he finds out that they had to spend the money on removing Bart's tattoo, and the fact that Homer doesn't want to tell the family that he didn't get his bonus really gets to him, because he wanted to give his family a good Christmas. And throughout that, he had to go to a clearance or a discount store to get like cheap presents for his family. And then of course, with him seeing Ned Flanders, his neighbor, getting all these Christmas presents, and seeing Ned's house covered in really good decorations and Christmas lights, really shows that, you know, Homer is just so mad at Flanders because he gets to give his family everything, and you know, Homer doesn't. So in order for Homer to try to earn more money so that he can give his family the best Christmas that he can, his friend Barney ends up telling him about getting a job as a mall Santa. So of course Homer goes to the Springfield Mall to apply as a mall Santa. He goes through the whole process, and then right when he's doing his job as Santa, Bart and his friends end up seeing him. Like Bart, not knowing that it's his dad, ends up going on his lap, and then he yanks the beard off, seeing his dad. And then of course Homer takes him into the little gingerbread house, telling Bart that nobody knows, that none of the family knows that he's doing the mall Santa job because he didn't get his bonus. And then I think the really sweet thing in that scene is the fact that Bart was so surprised that his dad was willing to do something like that. It really surprises me on how Bart was so showing such sympathy towards him. So as Homer gets his check for being Santa, he only gets like $13. And the craziest thing is that he goes to the lady that gave him the check, tells him that his full pay was $108, but they had to deduct it for everything that he did for doing the training, costume purchasing, employment, and all that other stuff, and only leads down to $13. Oh my god, that is such a ripoff. So afterwards, Homer and Bart go to the dog track to bet on a dog, so that way they can win like the winning dog money. And then all of a sudden, a new dog comes in, which is Santa's Little Helper. And then of course, Homer ends up betting on Santa's Little Helper. And then as the race goes on, Santa's Little Helper ends up coming in last. And oh man, from that point, Homer was just so disappointed that they didn't win. The next scene is outside of the arena, where Homer and Bart go through the parking lot, try to find the winning tickets of the dogs that were betted on. And of course they can't find it. They end up hearing the owner of Santa's Little Helper. Pretty much his owner is pretty much throwing rocks at Santa's Little Helper, and of course is pretty much getting rid of him. And then all of a sudden Santa's Little Helper ends up jumping into Homer's hands. Homer is like distraught because he calls him a loser, but as soon as Santa's Little Helper licks Homer's face, from right there he says he's a Simpson. And from that point, Santa's Little Helper became a member of the Simpson family. Towards the end of the episode, we get to Homer arriving at the house. Then he ends up telling the family that he didn't get his Christmas bonus and everything. And then, of course, at that point, Bart ends up showing the family that Homer got the family the dog, Santa's Little Helper, and pretty much saying that getting Santa's Little Helper is the biggest present that the whole family could ever have. And towards the end of the episode, there's a camera shot of the whole family in one shot, and it ends up becoming a Christmas card that says Merry Christmas from The Simpsons. Okay, so now putting in some trivial thoughts about the episode was that this was The Simpsons' very first episode. This was the pilot episode of The Simpsons, and of course it aired back in 1989. And the most interesting thing is that if you go back and watch it, and you look at all of the characters and everything, you notice that some of the characters that are in this first episode, their voices are really different from how they sound today. So for that, if you guys watch the episode and you notice certain characters that have voices that are different, comment below. Comment some of the characters that you see in this episode that you think have such different voices from what they have today. There was one thing that pretty much, that was bothering me about this episode, was that whenever there was distraught moments and sad moments and uprising moments, they always increased the music, and whenever some of the characters would talk, you could barely hear them. Honestly, I think that was probably an audio error, because I think back then when they were trying to record, the dialogue and trying to match up, certain music volume levels, that sometimes it kind of, was overlapping a little bit on some of the dialogue and all that. So overall, The Simpsons Christmas special is one of my favorite Christmas, cartoon specials to watch, because it was The Simpsons' first episode, and it's always great to go back and watch it. It's always so good. to see all the characters of how they started off and seeing like how it all began. So I'm happy to watch the Simpsons Christmas special. Alright you guys, so that was my review of the Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, the Christmas special. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and also hit that little notification bell when you know when my next video is coming up. Okay guys, I'm Gabriel Reyes. I'm out. See you in the next video.